So we're very lucky that this was our second year of doing this workshop, so we had a little bit more guidance and input on how we wanted to structure it. But the first main step was deciding which exhibition to focus on.
What we actually ask of you is to come here, enjoy yourself, and one thing that the main ingredient is to have an open mind.
This year with the Grade 12 project we are focusing on Igshaan Adams, who has been in the atelier on the second floor of the museum, and he's occupied that space with his entire studio crew for the last couple of months.
And a lot of my work is really rooted and focused on my life in Bonteheuwel, or the environment.
We thought that this was an amazing opportunity for young people not only to engage in the work of the artist, but also to be able to meet the artist in person and also to see the behind the scenes work.
Getting to go into his space and seeing the team and actually meeting some of them kind of like reminds you how human an artist can be and how human the process is.
It's really inspiring just what materials, simple materials like the ribbon, the rope, the beads are capable of.
And my high point was walking through Igshaan's artworks because I'm very much into fabrics and materials, so that was so inspiring to see how we incorporate everything into this beautiful artwork.
And we decided a strong focus point would be this idea of materiality, working with materials as your main concept, your meaning, the ideas you want to convey. And that's really what was the seed that sprouted the rest of the workshop.
So we introduced some handwork as tapping into old crafts or crafts that we know so well. Even though they were knitting or crocheting, weaving with their hands, they were able to talk without realizing that they were letting off some of their emotions. This is what we could achieve in the workshop.
In regard to the artwork I'm producing, I'm wanting to embrace mistakes, and I'm also really inspired by the different mediums and finding the extraordinary in the ordinary.
It's quite different to be here and not using classic art mediums, but having to push yourself a lot to use a completely different medium.
Now that my eyes have been open to the different media, I'm thinking maybe doing a sculpture.
There are many schools that offer art, but very, very few black schools or schools that have been previously under-resourced that offer art as a subject. And so for us it's very important that the learners are selected from a range of those schools.
Honestly, I feel privileged because on where I am from and from the school that I am from, we don't get such opportunities.
So this was a very shy group of learners when they first got here. Even though they come from different schools, different backgrounds, they actually have a lot more in common with each other than they might think.
Everyone's kind of warmed up over the days, and just hearing more and seeing how they view things and their opinion on art, which I think is always interesting because different schools also have different techniques and what they're allowed to do, and then seeing how others view the world, but still we all have that thing in common, which is art, which is absolutely beautiful to see.
Communication was key, and constantly reassuring them of the space and it being a safe space to be who you are and who you want to be, and to make the art that makes you comfortable and makes you happy.
And this has really challenged me to kind of change, and I feel like the change was within, and I just needed this space to kind of just get out of those comfort zones.
The thing I enjoyed the most about the way we worked there was how they treated us like actual artists, like adults instead of students.
As we've moved through the second crit and we've given them feedback to really hone in on this idea of materiality, they're now looking at their materials more critically. These are what I think my materials reference. When I looked at it more closely, I discovered these other facts about it. So you can see a real grasp of what we were trying to convey in the workshop has happened between the first crit and the second crit.
I wanted my artwork to speak volumes about the pain and suffering each plastic has caused to the ocean. The artwork was made from recycled plastic that I've collected from friends and family.
My use of the spinning top is symbolic for these paths we all have to see, something I as an artist had no control over.
My piece chooses to herald paper. Paper is a very humble yet versatile medium. It is also a staple and symbol for both childhood with carefree creative play such in like cardboard and craft material paper, and as well as adulthood with important pages opening new opportunities such as CVs and application documents.
I chose butterflies because of a paper butterfly lamp I had as a child when I shared a room with my sister, as well as the fact that butterflies symbolize transformation.
Get most of your tissues together, mix them up so that it's equally distributed instead of having blocks of shades of, then it starts looking strange.
For my meaning, I wanted to show how complex Islam is.
Eggs are fragile but hold great potential. These eggshells represent youth, the same youth that will inevitably inherit the future.
And I was inspired by the weaving exercise, of course, and I wanted to use acrylic paint because that's what I'm comfortable with.
My own reaction to it was, yes, this is the kind of thinking that we want to encourage. Some of the works are extraordinary, some of them are beautiful.
Generally, they understood the idea of materiality and then incorporating that into an artwork.
Especially materials ranging from kind of recycled materials. The process of upcycling is really featured, which is really nice to see.
Their confidence in themselves has grown tremendously throughout this workshop, and it's really heartwarming to see a space where they can embrace themselves, embrace the person they want to be, and embrace the style of art making that they enjoy.
That's why I said I want to focus on operation, because I feel like the outside world is like kind of close to everything, and I want to focus on that more. And I feel like it's like a form of self-awareness, and I think I could learn from myself more if I dig deeper the way that he does in all of his work.
There's always hope in there somewhere, even if it's trying to enclose it, whatever your problem is, it's still there. So I think people can be able to associate with, you have a struggle, but there's always hope. But if you let that hope go and you let it flourish, you can do so many things. And I think that will resonate with a lot of people. So it's just how you interpret the piece of art.
I found that when they tap into their own little issues that they had with themselves in finding who they are at the stage in their life that they are, and once they identified that, they ended up making work that they were happy about, and then they could find their confidence and then talk about their work in a way that they were passionate about. And because they're passionate about it, it was easier to talk about.
It's been amazing. They treat us like artists, which I very much appreciate, because coming from a school when they just teach you, no, you should do that, no, you should do that. So I like learning like their perspective. They are honest, so they will tell you like maybe that's not gonna work, and they will like build it up for you.
It feels really surreal because this is actually the first time I've ever been in such a big thing, being exhibited in an actual art gallery. It's just daunting.
So now that I'm more experienced, I feel pretty confident and excited to have my work exhibited again.
I hear a lot of people say it's surreal, and it is. It's like, I can't believe I get to exhibit my artwork in a world-renowned museum. It is awesome. It's an incredible opportunity.
The next step for them is to hand in their artwork, their artist statement, and their visual diary or source book. So that will be taking place quite soon. And once they have handed in all their artwork, we as the Centre for Art Education will take over and start curating their exhibition. So we will start putting up their work in the space, getting it ready for the public to come and view. And the next most exciting step is the public opening, where the learners will get to see their artwork up in the space for the first time as an exhibition at Zeitz MOCAA. It is such a special moment to celebrate an exhibition like this, and we are so honored to have hosted and helped you pave the way to your future careers as artists.
It shouldn't be underestimated what a privilege it is to show in this museum at your age or at your point of your life, and your development, I think it's a big deal. And I think part of developing as an artist certainly has to do with the confidence to kind of make something that everybody else might think is horrible or nonsense.
What an amazing opportunity. And now my work's here, and it honestly feels like a dream.
Yeah, the colours are also kind of like a nod towards the South African flag.
Every post-it note is probably almost 1,000 of them. Have been written on by different people around in my community, my school.
Okay, my name of my project is, of my artwork is Fish Out of Water, because my whole thing is basically about ocean pollution.
This comes from what I wanted to convey, which was chaos versus peace.
And that basically represents the memories that me and my grandfather have together while going through the pathways of life, and how he was kind of like guiding me.
Being tasked with materiality, not just making a sculpture that looks nice, but something that the very innate essence of it, what it's built out of, has meaning behind it. I thought that was a very interesting task.
So I think my initial feeling is to feel really proud of the work that the grade 12s have produced, their exhibition, the way that they handled themselves on the panel, the feedback that they've given, the entire process, the way that they have showed up as individuals throughout the process. But I'm also immensely proud of the CFAE team for holding the process, to Talia in particular, for the way in which she managed the process, and also our ability this year to reflect a little bit and also to tweak a lot of the areas that we thought needed a little bit of improvement, and we're learning every year.
I have to say, I just feel so immensely proud of the grade 12s this year. They did an incredible job of becoming into their own, even though they were so shy and reserved when they first got here. And just hearing the really positive sort of life-changing feedback from them makes us feel like we must be doing something right. Even if there are little things we still want to tweak and adjust in the future, just hearing their feedback saying they'll never forget this moment is really impactful as a teacher, actually, to feel that sense of you've done something to change these kids' lives. I can't really describe how amazing that is. And from a point of view of kind of overseeing this project and managing it this year, what an incredible experience to be here from an insider perspective compared to last year as an external facilitator. I'm so grateful to be part of the CFAE team here at Zeitz MOCAA, where we just do the most amazing work, and it's lovely to see how that impacts other people. Really, our work is not limited to this building. It has such a vast ripple effect in the community around us. And probably my biggest word of wisdom is never forget the people that are around you. I think, as all of you can attest to in this process, it wasn't about the art, it was about the community. And you guys have created your own community space now. The grade 12s from last year had a community, and now you represent something actually much bigger than just yourselves.